Hey cuties, Grace here. Welcome back to 5 Years Time Podcast. I'm so excited that you've joined us. I'm going to put out a disclaimer that this week's episode is very much going to be just kind of cutie chat, hanging out and just chit chatting away. No real rhyme or rhythm. Rhythm. Well, I mean, there will be rhythm in the sense that we'll do our catch up, snack of the week, Rose Thorn entertainment recap, but not necessarily a lessons I learned this week because I've got things to catch you up on. And that involves me just being very low energy. And I am trying to just rest and recover this week because I had an unexpected diagnosis of shingles, but we'll get into that. And honestly, I just don't have the energy to pull from the inner core of my soul and heart and brain to share a lesson this week. I just don't. And I'm just going to be real with you, which I always am. So let's jump into our catch up. This past week was so good. It felt really refreshing and I felt really organized and I felt really renewed with my new boundaries that I've been putting around social media and all of that stuff. So I just felt really good all over. But I think there was an underlying issue because as the week went on, I randomly an underlining issue to sorry, my hair is literally wild. If you're watching on YouTube, that's a little plug. We are on YouTube. Hi cuties, I see you. Good conversations always happen in the comments over there. So if you're a visual person, then feel free to go subscribe over on YouTube at 5 Years Time Podcast, where you'll be able to get our weekly what is this called? A podcast, but as a video. And then also, I have my weekly vlogs over there that go up on Sundays. If you want a little more in depth behind the scenes, come hang out with me, see what I'm up to on the daily basis, routines, all of that. But I think that there was a little bit of an underlining issue to everything, probably. Um, like why I wanted to a few weeks ago was talking about taking a social media break and refreshing and figuring out my boundaries. And I'm really trying to be as purposeful with my time, but also very much like go with the flow, like no no real schedule. Like yes, there's a schedule, there's things I do certain, but like more for those like updates on I feel like Instagram and TikTok are very much like you just kind of update about your day. You're just sharing about your whatever and like you share when you want to share and I don't when I don't want to. That's what I'm trying to be more flexible with. It's not a rigid schedule. Um and I'm working hard on that. And I think the one thing, this is kind of a side note. I think this whole podcast is probably going to be a side note, but I think the one thing I'm realizing is that um I need to like really step back and like feel okay with literally posting whatever I want to post and not caring about like anything that has to do with like views or comments or whatever. That's why I love Instagram because I really not that I care on TikTok, but like I've had these meetings they get in my head so much and I'm trying to not have those meetings anymore because I really I don't know what direction I want to go in, but I feel like that's not the direction I want to go in because I keep having these meetings with different managing companies and everything like that just to hear them out, hear what they can provide, what the service is, all of those things. But every time I have these meetings, it's always about my views and it really gets in my head and they make it feel like I have to have a certain number of views to be worthy of um, sponsorship or monetization. And it really stresses me out because I go into those meetings feeling so confident and I love the community I have. I love the ability to just post whatever I want to post. Sure, maybe cooking videos um, reach more of an audience, but then those other videos that are just random where I'm just touching in and sharing, oh, this is what I'm wearing today, or oh, you asked how I do my hair this way, or whatever. And then we have cutie conversation. And I love those videos are my favorite for the conversation. Like I love the comment sections in there where like the cooking is more just people sharing their whatever, like random people who find me sharing their opinions. You know what I mean? And sure, they don't get as many views, but I think that they all ebb and flow together. It's the yin and the yang. Like there's the videos that um sustain my audience and grow my connection with the community that I've already created, and um just kind of peel back layers and share more about who I am. And then there's the videos that are my cooking videos or whatever that bring in new people, and then they can decide if they want to stay or not. But I think there's like a purpose to all of it. And anytime I meet with people, they basically just tell me that like I need to always meet a minimum view on all. I don't know, it's this whole thing. And I think it just gets in my head. And no matter how much I try to push it away, I think at the end of the day, it really gets in my head. And that's why I need to stop having these meetings, because it's just not good. It's just not good meetings. They're not good. I just need to, yeah. So I'm really trying to, uh, find a balance and really just like get uncomfortable and get uncomfortable with with the idea of where people are telling me, oh, this is the comfort you need. Like get uncomfortable and really just get back to posting whatever I want to post. Um, and who likes it, and who doesn't, but I like it at the end of the day. So I don't know. It's just, that's a whole random thing. But what I'm trying to say, this is all leading to me getting shingles, is that I think I've just really worn myself down. And apparently, I've had shingles before. So shingles, I don't even really know what shingles is. It's the most confusing thing in the world. If you've had chickenpox in your lifetime, which now is very rare, I assume because there's a vaccine for it. But like as a child, as a child, I got chickenpox. And then that opens you to having the ability to get shingles later down the line. Now, normally this is when you're 50s, your 60s, like when you're older. Um, yeah, no, not for me. So I got shingles when I was first pregnant with Roe. And I am naturally a very like rashy person. Like I get psoriasis and eczema. I've had it my whole life. Well, psoriasis I got more in my 20s when I moved to, or my late teens, 20s when I moved to Ottawa. The winters were really rough for me, and I find that the only thing that really helps my psoriasis is like light, being out in light and sunlight. So yeah, it has never been as bad as it was back then. Also, I know what to look for now because I'd never experienced psoriasis before. It's different than eczema. But anyways, I haven't had eczema in so long. Uh, I don't know why. But I do know when I sometimes will feel like on my elbow crevices, maybe a patch coming on, and I know what works for me to avoid it growing. So yeah. Anyways, when I was first pregnant, I felt like literally first pregnant. I think I was going to the doctor to confirm my pregnancy. I'm pretty sure that's just how I found out. So I get psoriasis a lot on the nape of my neck, up into my hairline, and I try avoid scratching it as much as possible. But this one, what I thought was psoriasis, I was like, oh no, I'm getting another spurt of psoriasis, and it's like really irritating me, and I'm finding it hard to avoid scratching it. And the worst thing you can do is like flare it up, and then it becomes like this talc? No. What is it called? Plaque. It becomes this plaque, and it's just like really hard to deal with at that point. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to the doctor to confirm my pregnancy, I might as well just ask them to check it out, and then they can. Normally try to avoid getting the prescription for it as if I can avoid it. Like if it gets to the point where it's bad, then I'll get the prescription ointment. But I was like, I'll just get the prescription ointment, or oil, whatever they do for your hair, so that I can just like nip it in the butt and it not grow into a big deal. Because honestly, it can become pretty like annoying and painful. Um, yeah, so I felt like it was getting to that point where it was starting to be painful. So I was like, okay, like let's confirm my pregnancy. Doctor's like, congratulations, whatever. And then I'm like, oh, also like just before I leave, can you just check the back of my neck? I want to get a prescription for my psoriasis. I think it's flaring up. She's like, oh yeah, no problem. Looks at it, and she's like, that looks like shingles. And I was like, I don't know what shingles is. Like, I'm sure I've heard of it before, but I have no idea what it is. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, cool, whatever, like another type of rash. Give me the thing that fixes that. And she's like, wait, what? You're pregnant? And I was like, yeah, you just told me I was pregnant. We just confirmed that. And then she's like, oh, this is bad. And that's like the first conversation we had at the beginning of my pregnancy. And I was like, new pregnant person has no idea, like, what? And she was like, oh, she's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say it that way. But she's like, okay, like, we need to get on this. You need to take these antivirals, whatever. And like, your pregnancy is now going to be high risk. And I'm like taking this all in, like, what is happening? Um, it's easy to laugh back at it now because everything worked out. And after my first trimester, I was able to move past um, high risk, and eventually, like, everything was groovy. Like, I don't know, I'm not sure what it is, but like, it can pass on to your baby or something. There's a whole thing. But if you have shingles, don't go near pregnant people. And if you are pregnant, try to avoid shingles. But the thing is, it's not something you can avoid. It's not like an avoiding thing. I don't actually know how it just like starts. But I got put on these antivirals that were like safe for the baby, and they were intense. And it was a week of down under. It was not good. And I remember this, I was like, oh, I'm going to go back to work. I went like on my lunch break to the doctor to confirm my pregnancy and do all this. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to work in the afternoon. She was like, oh, she was like, if you can, you might want to just spend the rest of the day at home. Like, these can be really intense. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, we'll see. I literally went home. I took them, and then I went home to grab some food before heading back to work. And yeah, I literally could not go back to work. I was like, what? It sent me into complete nausea. And I'm not sure if it was a combo of me being pregnant plus them, but like, that week was just so hard. And you had to take, I think I'm on different ones now. I'm not 100% sure, because I remember it being like 3 of these giant horse pills 5 times a day. And now I'm only taking, the ones I'm on now are only two 3 times a day, and 2 pills. They're still giant, but 2 pills 3 times a day. So anyways, it was just not fun, but it was fine. Like, I nipped it in the butt, all was good. 7 days of antivirals. And honestly, for me, what I'm learning in shingles is the beginning is the worst for me. Like, I pretty much always catch it in the butt. Thank goodness I'm a rashy person. But also, not thank goodness, because I wouldn't normally go to the doctor, which is leads me to this shingles. So anyways, that was my first experience with shingles, and it was just one of those things that I laugh about because I'm like, what? And I just like never, I just didn't think that that would be like an issue that I would deal with again. So this week I woke up on, I'm trying to think what day it was. 72 hours before Saturday. What day is that? Saturday morning. It's Friday, Thursday. Okay, Wednesday. Sorry, that's my math. Wednesday, I wake up and I have this real, like, it feels like I'm sleeping in a t-shirt, but like a sleep shirt. It's not like a super, like, it's ribbed, stretchy, like not something that would get bunched up and feel like uncomfortable, cut off circulation or anything. But I feel like that it's like wrapped around my arm in a painful way. Like, my under my arm feels like almost the same feeling as if you sleep with like a hair elastic on or something. Like the cutting off of circulation, like uncomfortable. And so I like go to the bathroom and I like take off my shirt and I lift up my arm and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I had this like rash appear out of nowhere. And I assumed it was just psoriasis. So I'm learning something. If I assume something is psoriasis, it's shingles. No. But I was like, I assumed it was psoriasis, but it was painful. And I remember not thinking anything of it. I was like, oh, it's painful because it's like in a weird place. But like, psoriasis isn't normally painful like that. The painful part doesn't come until you really scratch at it. Anyways, I was like, whatever, gonna do what I normally do, pop some hydrocortisone on, like, just try and like not irritate it. Like, it's gonna be okay. And so I was getting my nails done with my mom. Sorry. I was getting my nails done with my mom later that day. And so I just casually mentioned it to her. I was like, oh, I woke up with the weirdest patch of psoriasis under my armpit. Also a place I've never had it before. And she was like, oh yeah, that's strange. Whatever. And like didn't think anything of it. Then the next day I was taking my mom to do an errand and I had a headache all day. And I'm not like a super headachy person, but I get really bad seasonal allergies. And my seasonal allergies manifest in headaches, and they're just like these vicious headaches. But like, it's March and I live in Ontario and we just had a snowstorm. Like, it's not, there's no seasonal like growth. You know what I mean? So I said to my mom, I was like, maybe it's like early allergies. And she was like, no, that doesn't make sense. And then I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just having a headachy day. Like, who knows? So I dropped her off and then I was waiting for her. She was getting her haircut. So I was waiting for her and I was editing my vlog in the parking lot. And then when she was done, I went and picked her up. She texted me, I went to pick her up and she was like, you know what, Grace? Like I was sitting thinking and you mentioned that rash yesterday and how it was painful. And now you've had a headache all day. Like, I think you might have shingles. Like, you got to show me this rash. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, literally, I was like, are you kidding me? This was Thursday. And we were planning to go to Collingwood for the weekend, which I said last week on the podcast. We were going to go to Collingwood with our friends and have a really fun weekend. And I was like, this is the last thing I want to hear. And then that was like kind of stressing me out. But I didn't feel particularly stressed before that. But anyways, I'm like, okay, like I was already driving by this point, but I was like, okay, like we'll go pick up Roe, and before I go in, I'll let you check it out. So I like showed her, and she was like, I don't know. Like she was like, I think, yeah, you should go to the doctor. I was like, really? Like, really? So it's like Thursday, picking up Roe time. And so I texted Trevor. I was like, hey, I need to go to the doctor to get this checked out. Mom thinks it's shingles. And can you watch Roe for like, I called the doctor, like the walk in clinic. It's going to be an hour wait. Like, can you watch Roe for an hour? He was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, okay. So I drop off my mom, drop off Roe at home. And then I go to the doctor. And I'm like, well, this is awesome because I was editing my vlog and I really wanted to get it done before the weekend. So I was like, oh, I'll just keep editing it because I had my iPad with me when I'm at the doctor waiting. So I was looking at the positive, but I was like, really? Like, this can't be shingles. Are you kidding me? What? So then I go in and I sit down and it's a walk-in clinic. So it's like a different doctor than you normally have or whatever. So I like tell her, I'm like, hey, like this is a situation. I assumed it was just psoriasis. Um, but my mom looked at it and she was like, I think it might be shingles. And so she was like, okay, let me look at it. So she looks at it. She was like, She's like, like not sure. She's like, have you had chickenpox before? I was like, yeah. And I said, I have had shingles. Like maybe she didn't hear me the first time I said it. Not in a rude way, but like I was just saying a lot of things at once. And she was like, oh, you have had shingles. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, everyone. Like it's very strange for a person in their 20s to have shingles. Not that like it is. It's abnormal. And so she was like, oh, when did you have it? And I was like, I would have been pregnant. So it would have been 2019. Thankfully, I was pregnant. And like, I have like a memory of that is, or else I would have forgot when it was. She's like, okay, 4 years ago. She was like, I'm going to bring in the other doctor and just look at it because I'm not sure. And you're saying you're not having pain because it wasn't painful for me anymore. And I was like, no, but I said it was very painful when I woke up the first morning. Like I remember thinking like, oh, what is that? Like that's why I looked was because of the pain. She's like, okay. Let me get the other doctor to come in. So the other doctor comes in. I'm like, oh, yay, doctor party. She looks at it and she was like, oh, yeah, they like are getting the flashlights out, like really looking in there. It's not a huge patch. Like it was just a little patch. And I guess what I know now is that you're looking for blisters. And so I guess I had blisters, but they'd already popped. So that was hard to tell. Yeah. And so they land on like, okay, it's shingles. Let's give her an ointment. And then they said do the ointment for 24 hours because it already been 24 hours and you have 72-hour window before the antivirals will not do anything. So I had till Saturday morning to start the antivirals if I was going to start them. And they were like, okay, we're going to give you an ointment. And then if it's not getting better or it's getting worse, then go on the antivirals. And so I only had a day to decide that. And then by Friday, I was like, like it's not getting amazingly better. And I definitely can see, they were like, really take a picture of it and screen in and zoom in every day and see if you can see blisters. And I'm like, I can see that there were blisters. And then so I talked to my mom and I was like, okay, let's just take the antivirals because it's better to be safe than sorry. And yeah. So I started the antivirals on Saturday and I was really anxious about that. Like really anxious because I knew how they affected me the last time. Oh, I forgot to say we didn't end up going to Collingwood. So I find out I have shingles and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to start these antivirals while we're in Collingwood. Like I really don't want to ruin the trip. Not that I would ruin it, but I would make sure like I would try like my best to be my best self. But if I needed to sit back and like stay at like in the house, then I would do that, whatever. And I was like, hey, we're going to make this great. Anyways, turns out an ice storm or snowstorm was coming in on Friday night, which is when we were supposed to leave. So Friday morning, we made the call that we were just going to reschedule, and it all worked out because I obviously had shingles as well. So we're going to go in a couple weeks. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. It's all going to work out. So anyways, I'm at home and I'm started taking the antivirals, but I was like stressing out about it. And Trevor and Ro went to go do stuff. So Trevor was like going to take care of Ro and hang out with her this weekend so I could really just like rest because I knew I was going to be stressed out. Oh, and this is one thing they said, like, they were like, are you stressed? Apparently stress brings on shingles. I don't know. And I could see why when I was pregnant, like obviously maybe wasn't stressed myself, but there was stress happening on my body because I was making a baby. And so like I could see that, but I'm like, I really don't think I'm stressed right now. Like I kept saying like maybe, but like I don't think I am. Maybe I'm like I've learned to like compartmentalize like stress or something. So they were just like really, and they're like, or have you been dehydrated? I was like, I try and consume water. Like I was like, I really don't think, like I said, honestly, like I've been more stressed in my life, but there are different stressors that come up. So I don't know. Maybe I handle stress differently. So I don't know. But anyways, then I was getting really anxious and I was feeling myself getting stressed about taking the antivirals. And I was like, Grace, you need to be calm because this is going to make it worse and flare up. So I was like, it's going to be okay. Even if I'm nauseous, it's going to be okay. I have all the supports in place. I'm at home. Trevor's taking care of Ro. I can just chill. I am not going to put pressure on myself this week to get things done. I just need to rest. My body is telling me rest. So I was trying to like give myself a pep talk. I took my first set of antivirals and then I went for a walk around the block because I was like, I just need to like not be sitting and like consistently thinking about this. I need to go get some fresh air and just go for a walk around the block. So I went for a walk around the block and that like calmed me down so much, which is just such a reminder to get outside and breathe in fresh air, and it will change your mood. Like I think I needed that reminder. And I feel like that's something that I let go of pretty quickly because obviously when you're in the wintertime, I not let go of pretty quickly all the time, but let go of pretty quickly in the wintertime, especially this chunk of the winter where it's like snow and gloom and doom. And like, I mean, we've had a very mild winter, but I feel like it's still like that time where it's just like, you know what I mean? And so you're like less likely to get outside. So, and that was a snowstorm day and the roads were slush and it was like not pleasant necessarily, but I had such a lovely walk. Like I really did. So that was my good reminder to myself to get outside more often and go for those walks, especially now that I'm like literally at home by myself all day long, just with myself. I need to be out there more often, getting in the fresh air. Just like opening myself up to not being at home as often. That's a whole nother thing. But anyways, so I went for this walk and then I just like hunkered down and prepared myself to watch shows. I think I had one episode of Love Island to watch and then I didn't have anything necessarily to watch. So I was just watching YouTube or listening to podcasts. I don't even remember what I was doing. But I just became so low energy and I still am. Like, and I think that that's how it's affecting me this time. It's just like, and I felt that prior, like I felt that when I had my headache, like I felt that day. And I felt even just like days prior to that, like the ominous feeling of like low energy. And this is a typical time in my cycle where I'm like, let's get things done. Like I normally am super energetic. So I should have noticed that as a sign. And this is why we need to pay attention to our cycles like that. But anyways, I just am very low energy. And by Sunday, even Saturday afternoon, but by Sunday afternoon of just like not doing much and really trying to focus on resting and giving myself grace, really giving myself grace, I was just feeling so much guilt inside of my head. Like I like to rest with my windows open. So I'm like looking out the window. It was such a beautiful afternoon Sunday, so sunny. And I think Trevor and Ro were out maybe on a hike. I don't remember. And I see like all the neighbors going for walks, people walking their dog. And I just feel like I'm missing out on something, like a FOMO of what? Like, but literally I just felt like, oh, I'm missing out. I should be out there. Like I'm wasting a beautiful day. And it's like, I'm not wasting. Like this is me consistently having to remind myself, I'm not wasting. I actually need to rest. My body is telling me this. It has brought shingles back and it needs to chill and rest, and I need to just take it easy, because a little bit of easy, a week of easy is going to lead to a longer time of energy and good and nice weather and sunshine and being out and about and socializing and all of that stuff. So I just like was playing like this mental mind game. And even today, I feel like I was playing it. Like I went on a little walk again this morning. I dropped Row off and went for a walk, because I was like, I just need to make sure that I do that one nice walk, just a simple, nothing too adventurous, just a simple walk, to get that fresh air in, that sunshine, and see people, like say good morning to the people that I'm passing by, just that little bit of social. And then I get less like anxiety about being inside and like not doing things and being productive, because I am being productive with this rest. But anyways, I'm not going to say long story short, because this podcast is called Shingles. I got shingles. I don't know. But like, yeah, it's just like, I can't believe I have it again. And it's just wild. And it's making me, it's like giving me a good reminder that I need to be as in tuned with myself as possible. And that like stress changes throughout our life. And like what stress looked like in my earlier 20s, and when I was in that phase before I was just pregnant, like before motherhood, was like work stress and school stress. And I knew like that stress was more, I don't know, I could feel that stress more, and I felt like that was stress more about other people. It was stress brought on by other people, where I feel like stress now is brought on like inside the house, inside the family, inside me or regarding Ro or regarding Trevor. I don't even know. Like I just feel like it's more about looking inwards as opposed to like outside stressors. And I'm not saying that's forever. I'm just saying right now, this phase of my life. Um yeah, and I'm sure some of it is outside stressors. Like obviously I do interact with other people and um work by myself, but like still conversating with other people and doing contracts and all of that stuff. So like, yes, there's stress around that. And I actually did have a stress this week about one thing that involved like a shipping situation, and I had to figure it out. But I did figure it out, but I was stressed about it for like a little bit, but like not I feel like not enough stress to all of a sudden bring this up. But I think it's just been like maybe I've been putting too much pressure on myself for a prolonged period of time, and now it's just manifested into shingles. So here we are, taking my antivirals. But that being said, this week I made a purpose. I wasn't sure if I was going to come and post about it or say anything about it. I was going to obviously talk about it here, but like I wasn't sure if I was going to put out a PSA like on my TikTok. But then I was like, you know what? I'll feel more stressed if I just don't tell the people like, hey, I'm taking it easy this week. So I posted a video and then did a little comment being like, hey, I got shingles, taking it easy this week. I'll post when I want. Probably won't post that much, like feeling very low energy. And yeah, so I'm glad I took the pressure off myself. But yet I felt like today I still had a bit of pressure on myself at one point, and I'm trying not to. I'm really trying not to. Yeah, so that was the catch up. I feel like that was a good catch up. So yeah, the week I got shingles. Let's get into our snack or drink. Thank goodness, because I'm thirsty. So my drink of the week is water, which I had a few weeks ago as my drink of the week. But I didn't make it right now. But specifically, me and Ro have been really enjoying a fresh lemon water in the morning and a fresh lemon ice water. Just me and her share half a lemon each, or a quarter of a lemon each, and just put some ice and some water, and it just feels nice, feels refreshing in the morning. When I first initially had that headache day the other day, uh, just before I got diagnosed with my shingles, I had made myself a lemon water because I was feeling like I just need something to pick me up. Like I am feeling so out of it, like so down and low energy, and just like my head hurts so much. And I made a lemon water and I was like, oh, this actually is helping. Like, so now I'm like, oh, I'm going to make more lemon waters. But yeah, so I'm very much enjoying that. But I only do that usually once a day. You know, lemons are expensive. And I guess you could just keep refilling the same one, but there's something about that first lemon water. And then my snack of the week is strawberries. Strawberries were so expensive. I'm just taking another sip of water. Strawberries were so expensive for so long. Like they were like $8, $9, which makes sense because it's middle of winter. But for some reason, they're not as expensive anymore, and they're actually so good. Like we've been getting such good strawberries. They're not obviously summer prices or as summer good as like those type, but these ones have been really, really good. And um, you know, around that 2.99 mark, which I'm less complaining about the 8.99 one where I would only buy them because Ro was like, I really want strawberries. And I was like, okay, girl, you better love every single one of these strawberries. Just kidding. She can eat what she wants. But yeah, so I'm really loving strawberries. I've been putting them on the side of everything, like on my snack plates, on my breakfast plates. I've been having like shredded wheats and strawberries in the morning, or grapefruit. Oh, we've really been loving grapefruit. This is another side note, but my snack is definitely strawberries. I've just been having it with everything, and I'm loving them at the moment. Um, okay, this is where I'm getting thrown off because then we're going into our roses, buds, and thorns. Okay, so let's go into our roses, buds, and thorns. Roses, buds, and thorns. So out of this week, what you've learned is that what you've learned this week, not what I've learned this week, is that I've had a very up and down week. I felt on top of the world, very productive, and then I just got taken down with the shings. The shings for short. My rose was on Sunday morning. Me and Ro had the best time doing some imaginative play. Like she is totally the queen of independent and imaginative play. Like she just loves, I don't know. It's just so fun to watch her. But I was getting involved and we were having so much fun. And I swear we spent like 2 hours just hanging out on my bedroom floor, pretending all different things. We were at an airport and then we were on a bus and then we were doing vet. We were doing all different things. I just got a notification on my computer, but it went away, so I couldn't read it. But I don't know what it was saying. Hopefully nothing bad. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Um but it was just one of those things where I was just really happy that she was meeting me where I was at. Like I told her like, "Hey, mom's not feeling well. She's taking this new medication. It's making her feel pretty low energy." And she just wanted to spend time with me. She was like, "Okay, mommy, what do you want to do? Like, where do you feel comfortable?" And like I was happy. I really wanted to do some reversed. What word is that? Reverse or like inversion. Well, not necessarily, but like, yoga moves or like restorative yoga moves. I just needed to like stretch myself a bit because I've been chilling in bed. So I was happy to put my butt against the wall and stick my feet up and, just have the blood flow down and keep my arms out in cactus and feel good there. So I was happy with that. And she was like she was at first doing that with me. Then she was like setting up some like cute little, oh, we were playing Sleeping Bunnies, which is a song, Sleeping Bunny. You know what? Okay. Anyways, we were playing this game. We make it into a game, but she was just coming up with everything and she was happy to chill with me and meet me where I was at. And that meant so much. And I think she was happy that I was there to play with her as well. So that was very fun. My thorn obviously was getting shingles. Like it's just so annoying. And I'm trying to like not feel like it's so annoying, but it really is just so annoying. But I am grateful, like always turning my thorn into a bud, that like they're not painful anymore and that they did not get worse and that my mom said something or else I would have not treated them, which is amazing. So I'm grateful for that. And yeah, so ultimately I'm grateful that I'm being treated and that they didn't get worse because shingles can be absolutely painful, especially if you don't know what shingles are, which who knows what shingles are. um but yeah, so I'm very, very grateful for that, but still a thorn. And then my bud is just, I'm ready to feel more energized and more like myself. Just like I feel like I feel like it's been actually, I actually put this together. Like I think I've been feeling pretty low energy for a while now. Um and maybe that's the stress on my body. Like maybe I've been pushing myself a little too hard and I like slowly am trying to like not do that, and like it takes time. Things don't just change. New habits take time, new rhythms, new routines, they take time. And like normally I'm so excited for the weekend. Throughout my whole like adulthood, me and Trevor have always gone out on Saturdays and Sundays, but like gone out, got coffee, just like got up in the morning and left the house and gone got coffee or donuts and gone for a hike or a walk or to a cute little town, go for a long drive, figure just go with the flow and end up where you end up and find these amazing places. Like we've always done that and we've carried that into our parenthood as well. And when Ro was little and she was taking short, like 3 naps a day, we were always trying to fill those like hour and a half gaps between each nap or whatever. I don't remember how long the sleep was between each, but like I felt like there was it was like this tiny little time where you had to keep the baby awake. And we would like first thing in the morning, like 5 a.m., we would go for a drive and get Starbucks and then end up in the small little town and walk around and then be back at home by 9 for her to go down for her morning nap or whatever. So I feel like then we kind of not lost it, but like we had to be a little more flexible when Ro started uh, her like middle of the day nap. Uh, Sometimes she would like want to, I don't know, she would if we left at a certain time, then she would, and we like came back, we didn't want her to fall asleep in the car before nap time. Does that make sense? So it was like we had less flexibility because it was like we didn't want to go do something and tire her out and then she'd fall asleep in the car and then not have a good nap. So it was like trying to find the balance of it. And I feel like we've just gotten back to that where it's now like, oh, okay, let's get up and go get coffee or go do a hike or go to the library, the park, swimming, whatever, and fill that time. And I feel like I was used to be so excited for that. And then I feel like in the past couple months, I've like kind of stopped participating and it's been more of a Trevor and Rosie thing. And I missed that. And I think I was starting to feel really sad about it when I was really not doing anything. So I would stay home and I would like edit videos or get work done because sometimes there's not enough time in the day when Ro gets picked up from school and then it's like I'm in mom mode or whatever. So like I would catch up on Saturday mornings and Trevor would take her out and it's like I loved going out as a family and doing everything. And so I think I'm just like rejigging everything. I've been very open about this, but I'm just trying to reassess and refigure out what's right for me and also like find the balance between like how much I want to be doing and what are my goals and all of those things. So these are all the things I've been talking about. But anyway, so my butt is I'm looking forward to feeling more energized after this week. I'm hoping it's only 7 days I'm hoping by that it's not the whole 7 days, but like the antivirals do suck. So I'm gonna give myself the full 7 days to whatever, chillax and like not have pressure. I'm not gonna give myself pressure either way. I'm recovering. But hopefully after this, when I do feel more energized, I come back not feeling like, oh, I got to hit the ground running. I come back, uh, hit the ground running with work. I come back feeling like, okay, I'm so excited to go out with the family and do this. Like, put my priorities straight because, like, work is work, but your family and when they're little and this time, it's so important. And yeah, I also don't think I need to be doing all of everything all the time. Like, figure out what my priorities are. So anyways, that was a whole nother side note. As I said, this is all side notes, but that's my bud. So let's get into our entertainment recap. Entertainment recap. Entertainment recap. Okay, Love Island. That's the only thing I've been watching. Is I think I said last time that when they come back from Casa More, I was talking about Tom and I said Tom and Olivia or Liv, but I didn't mean that. Who is he with right now? Oh my gosh, now I forget her name again. Why do I keep forgetting this person's name? Tom. I hate looking up things because I don't want spoilers. Tom and I'm just gonna write Love Island because I can't remember her name. Tom. Tom. Oh my gosh, don't give me spoilers. I really don't want spoilers. Just tell me what her name is. Oh, here, Bombshell. Okay, Tom. Who is the Bombshell contestant? Tom? No, that's not what I want to know. Oh my gosh. I really can't look this up without getting spoilers. Love Island cast 2023. Oops. Everyone who watches Love Island is probably shouting, Grace, her name is Sammy. Sammy. Okay. Oh, my alarm's going off. Oh my gosh, I gotta go pick up Roseanne. Okay. Where's my phone? Oh, it's out there. Okay, I'll be right back. Hey, cuties. I literally just went to get my phone and then I knocked over my water. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not even going to worry about it because we're almost done here. And I also have to go pick up Ro. That was my go pick up Ro alarm. That's so funny. When I sat down to do this, I was like, oh, it's going to be a quick one. Da 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 da. Ugh. Cuties. I just love talking to you so much. It's never just a quick one. Okay. So Tom and Sammy was who I meant and how I didn't like really understand why like I loved Tom and Lydia in is it Lydia? Oh, now I don't even remember anyone's names, but I loved the Irish girl that Tom was with in um Casa More. I just love them. But like I'm not against Tom and Sammy. I just didn't understand where they're necessary like I didn't understand the commitment they had to each other because I felt like they weren't together that often and I don't know. Also, I feel like Sammy's very reserved, so she doesn't share a lot of how she's feeling or her emotions. So I just didn't know. But anyways, that being said, we are now well past Casa War, and I feel like everyone got comfortable again in the way that they want to be, and now they bring in the new bombshells, and there's a little bit of drama going on. But I feel like this time is always like the boring time of Love Island. Um, it's just like sometimes I feel like, oh, the bombshells are no purpose. Like, it's only a few people who are not like solidified in their couple and they're just going to dance around and whatever. But we'll see if it gets shaken up. Not that I'm bored. I just feel like it's like the less like interesting. Everyone's kind of settled down. There's a little bit of drama, but it's between new people that we don't really know yet. So it's like our hearts aren't tied to them. You know what I mean? But yeah, I am still enjoying Love Island. I will always enjoy Love Island, and I can't wait for the parent episode. I know that's not for a while, but that's like my favorite. Um, a show that I was watching, me and Trevor are watching, Last of Us, but we have not kept up with it. But tonight we said we were going to watch it. So we have I think we have like 4 episodes to catch up on. So we'll probably only watch at least one, but hopefully two, depending on how we feel. But I just have to say for Last of Us, the episode 3, I believe, the one where they go into the like town that the survivalist and the other man have created. Oh my gosh. I just feel like that's why I have no drive to watch any of the rest of them. We did watch the next one after that and it wasn't horrible, but I just feel like I loved that episode so much. I wish they were all like that. I wish we all got to see what everyone was doing, which I think we are slowly getting to see from what I understand in the episode after that. But anyways, if you have watched Last of Us, that episode 3 was just so sweet. I loved it so much. And yeah, so I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen, but at the same time, I'm not like so into it. Also, that being said, me and my sister-in-law and Trevor, we watch once a week. She comes over for dinner and we watch Barry, which is a show on HBO, and we're on season 3, which is very dark. Season 2, I think, was my favorite, but I do love it. It's comedy, but like it's got a dark undertone to it because it's about like a what is he called? What is it called when people hire you to kill people? An assassin? Is that the name? I'm not sure. But anyways, um, but an assassin that wants to be an actor. It's like this, it's a comedy. But the second season, oh my gosh, I literally probably like laughed the loudest I've laughed in something in a long time. This season we just started and it's very dark. It's kind of sad. But there is comedy to it. You do laugh, but yeah, it's kind of heavy. But we are enjoying that. So Barry on HBO is a good show to watch. I'd say at the beginning when we started it, I was like, I don't know if I'm into this, but then you get into it. And the episodes are short, they're not too long. That being said, Spotify, I've uploaded with some new music, so you can go check out our playlist over there. I always have it linked below. And then, of course, you can check out our weekly vlogs over on YouTube, and we'll be on TikTok a little bit this week, and then Instagram. I've been enjoying stories recently, so that's been good. But that's my entertainment recap, and that is this podcast episode for you. And we are at 43 minutes, almost 44, and I didn't even share what I learned this week, but I'm sure there was a message in there about what I learned this week. I just didn't want to figure it out before. Thank you for being here. If you stuck around with this episode, it really means a lot. And I appreciate this space and this community that we've created. Come over onto YouTube, chat with me in the comments, or always hit me up on DMs and Instagram. I'm here to talk. Wishing you a restful week. For me, I will be resting and I will try to play the mental game of resting is okay. It's funny. You like allow yourself and give yourself the permission. Yet somehow your brain tells you, "No, Grace, you should be doing more even if you're resting." And it's like, "No, I'm okay to do nothing." Love you all so much. You all mean the world to me. Sending hugs and kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah. See you next week, cuties.